What is going on, betting people? It's your boy UT here, back with another video. Something a little different today. We've got a podcast with the boys, Jaden and Keto. Something that we're probably going to do going forward weekly, where we just talk about football, maybe talk some bets and predictions, and probably talk a lot of shit in between. So yeah, how we doing, boys? All right?
Yeah,
Not
going
too
well.
bad.
Yeah. So we've got a Spurs fan and a United fan. Obviously, two teams right now that are probably on completely different spectrums. How are we feeling?
Well, I think you can tell from our reactions. I'm pretty happy. I'm not sure about Keto.
Yeah, no comment at the moment. I'll get back to you on that one. I'll get back to you on Monday with that.
Nice.
Uh,
Anyone watch the Spurs-Chelsea game?
what a game! Absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, we're banging on it, man.
A crazy mix of emotions for me, but you know, seeing the fans stay till 90 minutes, even with 9 men, 4-1 down, continue to clap the team it's a sign of things to come.
Still cheering, still, you know what I mean? 9 men, you've clearly lost the game, but everyone just still seem to be like in a good mood, rally behind you. Like rarely do you see a team 4-1 down and the losing team still.
I think it's all down to the manager, man. He's so real. After the game, I don't know if you saw his interview after the game. It was just, he's such a real guy. Class. It's just so refreshing. After Mourinho and Conte, it's flipped.
I mean,
it's
the
so
thing
nice.
is, the players were just, for me, like the players were just putting in like a shift. Like it didn't matter the score. Like they were just playing and just giving everything. And I think that's what. Like, I mean, obviously people are going to talk about the high line still with like 9 men, basically in the Chelsea half, which was ridiculous. But yeah, just I mean, so much passion and like, obviously, I guess the exception really is the players who got sent off. But Udogie was having a strange game. Dude looked like he was trying to go home early for some reason. Should have had a red earlier, but.
It's entertaining. He probably should have got a red earlier for that double 2-footer.
But
he's been great. I mean, he's been a bit of a rising star, to be honest.
How old is he? 20? 19, 20, something like that?
I think he's 19, 20. He's pretty young.
Italian,
and he got a spot in the Italian team. And in fact, I think against England, he was their best player.
I did.
Yeah. I think he was their best player as well.
Definite time. There's definitely been a change. How are we feeling? Obviously, Kane's left, but it's like both are succeeding without each other right now. You got Kane who's tearing it up at Munich. They should be a real problem for the Champions League. But then you got you boys who have had best start that you've had since the 60s or something mad like that.
I think both Kane and the fans. I think the fans are happy that he's going. He's shown his worth, you know, on the biggest stage in Champions League, and we've got a real good chance at getting Champions League this year. So it's a win-win, but it's always everyone's looking positively. But imagine Kane in this team is might be a game changer.
See, I disagree completely.
Yeah.
I have to. Like, okay, this is my hot take. We're coming in early with this, but I personally.
I'm glad we got you on because I'm looking forward to Keto's hot takes. He's going to have a lot of hot takes.
Oh, I'm going to have a lot of hot takes. But I genuinely think Kane has probably been one of the most overrated players in the last 10 years. And I don't think he offers as much.
We'll end it there, boys. We'll end it there.
Yeah. We're done.
See you later.
For me, this Spurs team is like flying. It's functioning on like all cylinders. Like you've got the youth, the energy, the passion. It's all there for me. Like I really like this team. You've got the spine of the team, like is just incredible. You've got like, especially now with Maddison fitting in next to Basuma, and then like, you know, you've got Romero, Van de Ven, who looking pretty solid, pretty young too. But that spine of the team is just there, and then Son, obviously. Like I just felt like Kane had to leave to allow this team to kind of flourish, and it's not that Kane's like shit or anything, but like it's too focal on him. You know, he becomes
he's
everything.
the big man.
And even I felt like when he played with Son suffered. Like I think Son is an outrageously good player, And I think he got hampered a little bit by having to play with Kane. Like it becomes the Harry Kane show, and it's my same issue I have for England as well. But yeah, I did want to bring this up to see what you thought about this because I know it is a big hot take, but
it's a huge take. But I think it's down to the managers before. Like, they were focusing on Kane, and Kane is
okay, fair.
It we didn't have much attacking style before with Conte, Mourinho, Nuno, not really at all, and that and they focus on the biggest asset, which is Kane. But now I feel like if you have Kane down the middle and Son on the left, I don't see how that could go wrong.
There's also they're big managers, you know what I mean? They've won everything in the game. So then you've got a big player with big managers. Now it's sort of like there is no star, and you've got a manager who there was no expectation of. So they just go beyond that because there's not really. I think when you have a Mourinho or Conte, you've got that pressure, or they've got an expectation, they've got a pressure on them. Yeah. Players do.
I think the expectation thing for sure has played into Ange's hands and the team's hands.
Definitely. For you at the start of the season, you say, okay, Kane's gone, and you've got Ange, who did a job at Celtic. What, as a Spurs fan, without seeing what we've seen, what's your expectation? You're thinking maybe we'll hopefully get European football. Like, what your expectations?
Expectation was like, hopefully European football. It'd be nice, but it was never guaranteed. And I think everyone knew that. Like Kane gone, completely new manager, like fresh start. It was like a fresh start almost.
Yeah.
So, aim for European football, but now it's completely surpassed that. Champions League football is definitely the aim now.
But do you think?
But the fans chanting like we've got our team back, like we've got our football back I think that was the most important thing.
Like you guys have been flying now. Yeah. Sorry, but you guys have been flying now, and obviously you had the Chelsea game where you had both centre backs out. Romero's obviously out for 3 games. You had the left back. You say Udogi's out for 3 games. I'm like, Maddison's injured. I'm like, is it kind of like we had a good start and now we sort of go back to where we were, or do you think you're still going to keep that level going with obviously the injuries?
That's the big question, because the 2 defense centre backs, they had such a good partnership. Van der Ven has been unreal. Like he's huge and he has so much speed. It's scary. And Romero is like full aggression. He's going to get sent off, and he has 3 times already this season. But I kind of like that passion in a centre back. Like you don't really see it that often anymore these days.
It's my favorite thing about Martin is the same kind of like just all out like nutter basically, and
complete nutter.
You kind of need that passion at the back, especially when you need a bit of composure, but you need a bit of passion too. And I think like Van der Ven's like it looks like he's not that injured. He was in the gym and no rapids or anything on his leg.
Did he do his hammy?
Yeah.
It
he was
looked
back
quite
in the gym with nothing.
It looked pretty painful, to be honest. But
it looked bad.
I'm happy with that.
He looks But
this is the first real test.
Wolfsburg.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I might get pelters for that, for not knowing that.
I know.
But
yeah, it was Wolfsburg.
Don't matter, is it? Yeah, Wolfsburg.
Smashed it. There you go.
To be honest, though, in my opinion, the highlight of the game for me, man of the match was Vicario. Even if he let in 4 goals, he was absolutely unreal.
I wrote that down. I wanted to speak about him. He's been unreal, so like amazing. Like the passion he has. Oh, and all those stops. I thought it'd be a bit difficult after Lloris, but this guy is even better. He's really going for it.
Lloris were on his day we won at best in well, but he always had a howler in him. I thought.
Yeah.
He always had one mistake in him that could either cost you some point.
Which is always in the back of your mind when you're watching a game, so you never really are fully confident. Yeah. But yeah, he had worldy games, like pulling out crazy saves. But now it's with Vicario. He's so solid. It's I'm very happy because the confidence you need to start from the back as well. So Vicario with Van der Ven and Romero in front is so solid.
But Basuma in midfield,
exactly.
Basuma's made a real I think, a real difference in that midfield.
It's crazy now. Bentancur is back. I mean, you have Højbjerg and Bentancur on the bench, and they're going to stay on the bench. They're going to stay on the bench as well because Basuma has been crazy, and Pape Sarr as well. It's been a bit of a revelation. Like, it didn't really see it coming. I didn't think he would step up into this like first team like he has.
He were another Brighton kid, wasn't he? Well,
he wasn't a
Brighton player, wasn't he? Right,
yeah,
they're just always pulling you boys out. Sorry.
Yeah, and even Skip has been playing well before that, so I thought Skip might actually get a chance in the team. But
yeah,
this partnership that they have as well is
got depth, though, aren't you? Like even them players you mentioned there, like I didn't realize how much depth Spurs have. I thought it's usually like Arsenal. I look at Arsenal, I'm like, a couple of key injuries, they're fucked. In my opinion, not the you injure Saka or Rice in midfield, they've already got Timber out. I'm like, the longevity of now they've got to play all them big games and they're in Champions League this year. I'm like, Spurs have got that a little more depth.
We have a bit.
I didn't realize.
Then you look at the centre backs. It's like Dyer and Ben Davis, and it's like maybe we don't have the depth there.
I see what you mean, but like
it could be Maguire and Johnny Evans.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you got like negative depth.
That's
all right. So we're just like inverse depth. Okay, we don't even have like starters. So. But like, I was just looking at the bench, and it's like Dyer, Emerson Royale, Højbjerg, Skip, Bentancur, Forster, Lo Celso, Richarlison, and Gill. Like that's those players would get into a lot of like top 10 teams, like in the starting 11. I think, like they would play for Villa. They would start for a Villa, or they would start for a Palace.
They're pretty solid players. They're solid players.
Yeah.
I think it's gone under the radar a bit, like how much depth Tottenham have. And a lot of these players were bought a couple seasons ago, and they haven't really came to fruition. But it's looking quite good now. There's a lot of competition for places, and I think as well, like Ange has brought a great atmosphere to the team, and I think they're all playing for each other. Even Eric Dyer, it's the first time he's played all season, and he looked really good, really good. And that offside goal was
it's got a banger, didn't he?
Great finish.
Banger, man. It's like when he took that free kick for England. I'm like, what's he doing on this? Then he puts it in top bins.
In Russia,
yeah, mad. Yeah. Ange's I think he's a great coach, man. Even his perspective, I guess we'll get onto it later with Arteta. You can't not talk about the VAR, but just his perspective on it. He had that interview and he said, you were brought up in a culture where you respected officials. Like, they were like the police. What they said goes, and I guess he comes from sort of like a rugby background, isn't it?
Well, he says like you get some, you lose some. That's how it goes, and it should be like with VAR. I think everyone was like, "Oh, they get everything right now," and that's such a high bar. I mean, they're not doing a great job.
No, but they're just getting everything wrong now.
You need to give them Well, so there's a stat I saw from the game, Tottenham-Chelsea, 48 minutes in play. That's how much time it was. 48 minutes.
Seems to brought in the rule to add the time on at the end, and we're still not.
And they're still not. And they've been told to give cards to players time wasting. Where are their cards?
It's like
they're
else.
wasting. They wasted so much time. Everyone can see I know the offsides were a bit close, but it was so long. 12 minutes in the first half, 9 in the second half.
That's mad. I mean, I guess also sticking with VAR, we got to go across to United and Rashford. Thoughts on that one?
My God. I mean, so my VAR take right now is that essentially and this is trying to be as unbiased as possible across all teams, right? Is that what happens is VAR goes through a phase, and this is for the big teams, where it's like, okay, the refs realize all of a sudden, we've been really favorable to this team. And then they switch and go the other way. And it's like, we've had periods where we've had really favorable calls. Like last season, we had it where we were just getting pens left, right, and center. And then Klopp comes out and is like, United get loads of pens. And after that comment, we've literally had like the least pens awarded since then. Because they're obviously just trying to cover themselves and be like, don't give United pens now, because otherwise it looks bad on us. And then it flips again, and then we had the Wolves game, first game of the season, and I was there at Old Trafford, and literally everybody in the stadium, as that happened, were like, "Fuck, we got away with one there. Like that should have been a red. Like there should have been pen, like off."
Wolves
like,
have been.
Wolves have had
shafted.
a bad.
Yeah, and
they have.
that's the thing. So
three pens. Three pens. That
Three
shouldn't have been pens.
bad decisions.
Right. So
Yeah.
this is what I'm saying. This cycle thing is happening amongst the big teams, where it's like, oh, they get favourable, and then it goes to the other way, where you just get shafted for like a bunch of games in a row, as opposed to the bottom teams, they just get shafted. Like, because no one's going to care if like the Wolves manager comes out and is like throwing a hissy fit like Arteta. Like, no one's going to care. Like, who's going to pick up on that? And to be honest, the people who are going to suffer are the fans of the teams who aren't in the big, big six, big eight, whatever it is now. And so it's just so inconsistent for me. Like, I guess going back to the Rashford thing, it's like they showed that on the screen. The ref goes up to the screen to review it, and they've already put a still image just of the tackle, and like they're not even in slow motion at the start, just the angle. And it's like everything looks bad in slow-mo. Everything looks like an ankle breaker or whatever. And it's like, well, that's not the game we played. Like, anyone who's played the game at any sort of level knows there's physicality. It's not a non-contact sport. There is physical challenges. You've got to allow a little bit of roughhouse, a little bit of physicality in the game. Otherwise, it's just going to become like it's hard enough to defend in the modern day Prem as it is.
It's getting worse. It really is getting worse.
And these the ricochets are the ones that are doing my head in. Like in the game against Copenhagen, both pens, in my opinion, weren't a pen. The Copenhagen one and the United one. Like it's bounced off him from like Maguire is bounced off him from like 20 centimeters away, hit his arm. Yeah, it's a little bit clumsy, but come on, you can't do anything about that. The Copenhagen players jumped in the air, and it's like, his arm. You can't jump with your arms by your side, like, and it's come off Maguire and then hit his arm, and it's like these ricochets and these like really like technical little like CSI analyst kind of fucking penalties and stuff. It's just ridiculous. It's like it's just killing like the passion and the fight, and it's just making everyone walking on eggshells, and it's hard enough to defend against some of the players in the Prem. Like you don't need to be giving you don't need to be given this much advantage. It's just ridiculous.
I get sick of talking about it, man. Like it's every weekend, every game, and when you look at other leagues, I watch a lot of, obviously with the betting stuff, like Spanish league, Italian leagues. Like, it's not half as bad. The Premier League's the worst league in the world for it. Even Champions League, like, there's odd decisions, don't get me wrong, but the Premier League's just ridiculous. That's why I prefer watching Championship now. I'm sort of glad Leeds are in Championship, because when you go, you just watch better games. It flows. You get a full 90 minutes. And if the ref makes a bad decision, you've got to deal with it. You get on with it. But it don't stop the game. You don't see the mourning 2 weeks after, the analytics of it, the slow motion. Like, and you can celebrate a goal. You enjoy the game more than just waiting for.
There's a couple of things that I don't understand. Why they keep the fans in the dark in the stadium. They should show everything like similar to rugby. On the screen, you see everything. The ref's talking through it, and you can hear him talking through it with the Stockley Park, wherever you want.
We've heard that, though. We've heard after like the Liverpool goal, them talking about like the uproar. If we could hear them, the uproar about that,
live
would be unbelievable.
It was unbelievable. But they need to get used to it. But they're professionals in the highest level. Yeah. They need to be at that level, and they're not.
They need to be outed for it. They need, you know what I mean? They need to be held responsible. That's so they can hide behind everything now.
Kind of rightly so. Yeah, they're being undermined by their VAR official back over there, back where they are, and then they're not given any power. Like, it seems like the referee on the pitch is almost powerless now. Yeah, and when they do give them the clip to see, they show it in slow motion and stills, like you said, and that's not real life.
That's the other thing. It's like once they've sent them to the screen, it's like, oh, you don't have to make a decision now. You just we've told you it's a red, or we've told you it's a pen. Like,
Do you boys think? Sorry, do you boys think that referees now? Like before, the referees would have to make a decision or not? Do you think there's decisions now that they might be 50-50 that they don't have to commit either way because they know they've got that to bounce back on VAR or look at it. Like, I think that in a way kind of takes away from the refereeing because
they have that breathing room. They have the breathing room. And they're just like, oh, I don't have to make.
Yeah, if I get it
make
wrong,
the decision. It's going to be someone else now. It's fine.
Yeah,
it's like it gets taken off of them. So it's just the worst part of every option like that happens. They need to have the power back, and people need to respect them.
I mean, it's not going anywhere, is it? Anywhere, sorry.
It's not going to go anywhere.
So
we just try.
We've got to get better officials, in my opinion. Like I said, it happens all over the world.
I just don't think that helps. I don't think it changes. Like,
but look at the other leagues. Other leagues don't have this many problems. We have. I think you as an Englishman, whatever. Yeah, I'm a Leeds fan, but I grew up with a bias towards. So even our opinions now, it's biased towards your club, but it's also biased towards Premier League teams or anyone. If you're in League Two, you support Plymouth or whatever or whoever. You have a bias towards a certain team in the Premier League. You might like Liverpool, you might not like United. So I think everyone's ingrained in that. So I think at some point these referees, like you say, either go too far one way with it or another way. There's this bias that's kind of ingrained in a lot of English people that whether they want to admit it or even they don't even realise they're doing it. I think there is a bias towards, especially the top teams. That's why you see such a pendulum of all these decisions, none of the decisions, because I think it's the pressure and also the officials have an opinion on who they want to win.
You think that they don't have the bias in Spain and Italy and Germany?
For sure, but we don't see it happen as much. So why? Obviously, you've got all the stuff with Barca and that paying officials and that, which kind of helps, doesn't it? If it's true, but I don't know. It's
I do think we should have international refs. I do think that would help in some level, but I also think I just think VAR responsibility should be stripped in general. I think it's the fact that there's so many things that can be analysed in a booth that just shouldn't be. The subjective
offsides need to go to the automated one in the World Cup.
Yeah,
and no one has a complaint. No one's drawing the line.
I hate how
you just see the animation. You can't have a complaint, but now they zoom into a blurry picture. They click on where they think the line is. They stop
or his feet.
They stop where they think. Yeah,
his feet is 2 yards onside, but his nails offside, so it's offside. I'm like, that gives you no advantage. He's actually 2 yards behind, and he's still got
Back in the day, it was advantage to the attacking team. It should be like that because that's how football was, and that's how you enjoy watching the game because everyone wants to see attacking goals and everything.
Yeah.
I guess talking about VAR as well. Anyone see Anthony Taylor? So obviously made that howler of a decision. Wolves Newcastle. Again, obviously Wolves getting screwed over. Then goes demoted. He gets demoted to the Championship for one game on a Saturday. Was it the Preston game? I want to say.
Yeah, I think so.
On that, it might be wrong. And mentioned. Arguably another howler, but there's no VAR. We don't hear out anything really about that. We see a screenshot and that's it. And then from that was his punishment because he made a bad decision. He goes to the Championship, makes another bad decision, and then this weekend he's doing Man City Chelsea. I mean, what is that about?
Can't wait to see it. See what he does this time.
Well, what he's like you're saying, the officials, man. That's not a punishment. Going to Championship and then he made a howler in Championship for one game, but because it's not as televised or as scrutinised, it's all right. It's like it didn't happen. Bring him back. I'm like,
that was a ridiculous penalty as well. The guy just was behind him and fell down. I was like, what? It's not even remotely close. But it would have been a foul the other way if anything. I don't even know how.
But Championship, like you say, we don't have. You know what I mean? Then the teams will have to get on with it because we don't have that week of social media scrutinising, looking at the VAR, looking at all the decisions. So Anthony Taylor has not got as much backlash for that as he did when really they were probably in similar boat as far as bad decisions.
Yeah. I do think, I think international refs might help. I mean, the PGMOL are just got too much power. We got to do something, I guess, because I think I can only see it getting worse, in my opinion. I just think there's going to Arteta's going off on one, Klopp going off on one. It's going to get worse and worse.
I can't.
This is
I
just the
can't stand
start.
it. I can't stand it when Arteta, if a decision goes his way, he says, "Oh, you need to respect the referees,"
Oh,
and
you're
when it
not a big
doesn't,
fan?
he's completely destroying them. It's come
Do you
on,
think that's
grow up,
there's a
have some
few of them doing
consistency.
that? Do you think there's a few of them doing
Klopp,
that?
I think Klopp does that a little bit as well. He
I
Yeah.
does
think it
go off on that.
affects
I think this season
it
Klopp's been a bit
affects
more
their decision.
relaxed.
Yeah, he has, but it affects their decision, and Klopp does it in a way that's almost tactical, where it's like he complains to kind of get a little bit of leeway, and I almost like like this week has been the first time I've really heard Ten Hag complain about anything or decisions in a press conference. Generally, he's quite like you know Dutch kind of mentality, like we carry on, kind of like no bullshit. But actually, I think that kind of has hurt us in a way because all the other managers are like complain, and it puts more pressure on the refs. And so I don't think touchline bans is enough of a punishment for
Didn't
for managers, for doing that because there's got to be a balance. Yeah, they are messing up right now, and we need to do something about it. But complaining at them and just ranting is not going to help really, and it's also just putting more pressure on them, and then it's being a bit manipulative as well in a weird way.
like you said with that balance? Didn't I think Ange came out and said something about it? Said like a lot of it as a manager, like you know what's wrong or right, you know it's a bad decision or good. You do it as a player if you've ever played. Like you appealing for stuff that is,
Yeah,
it is. It
to get the
shouldn't really be for you.
advantage, to get the
Yeah, so
advantage.
you said like even this coming out with an appeal and everything, or writing the statement, and it's like even that could be a tactic in itself. So this weekend, referees are they're scared or they're scrutinised to mentally they will like favour maybe Arsenal a little bit in that bias. I don't know.
I definitely think that's what Arsenal's
Tactic in it.
it is a tactic, and they're definitely using that as a tactic to maybe it will swing their way this weekend. And let's see.
I mean,
it
it's
might
not.
do.
Liverpool came out with a statement, didn't they? And I personally think Liverpool's were a lot worse. They had that Luis Diaz 2 yards onside, pretty much. I'm like, they had more of a complaint, I think, than Arsenal did. No, I don't think any team should be coming out and doing these statements. And I know Neville and Carragher have all been talking about it, saying it's not right. You can't come out in media and start doing that.
I think it got blown a bit out of proportion, like replay. Everyone was talking about it. You can't do a replay.
Yeah,
I don't think they were asking for a replay, but they were asking.
Yeah.
They were saying there should be something that comes from this, like to improve.
But they've had decisions. Sorry.
They have had decisions, yeah. They have.
Them, that, right. You know what I mean? Like you're saying, they've had decisions earlier on in the league, like they weren't playing well for the first 3-4 games. You watch Arsenal games, they got points, but they weren't playing well. And now, they kind of picked up a little bit, and then they get a decision that makes them lose some of the first points that they've had this season. I'm like, if they got a draw, would there be this uproar? Is it because they got that loss? You know what I mean? I know, I get it. It's crucial because they want to get every point. But it's like, I don't know. Is it because they've just eventually lost some points, which they were lucky to not lose points, I guess, earlier on as well, in my opinion.
So what we're saying, referee exchange program might help the league?
Yeah.
For sure, man. For sure. Get some of them international refs in.
8-year-old girl from Germany. Just, student exchange program. Anyone would be better than Anthony Taylor at this point.
Yeah, I'm sure that'll sort it out, yeah.
Yeah.
Like some crayon lines just zigzagging across.
Yeah.
I guess talking about internationals as well. Anybody seen Girona in La Liga? Maybe doing a Leicester? Is it too early to say it's a bigger upset than, it would be a bigger achievement, I think, than probably Leicester winning the league, which is insane. You'd never thought you'd see that.
They've got a long way to go, but yeah, it's right up there with Leicester. It's right up there with Leicester.
You don't do that against Madrid.
You never know. You never know.
They're flying though. You watch them. They score 2 goals every game. They are flying, man. And they got rid of the funny thing was they got rid of the best players. They had to sell them in the summer.
I looked through their team today and I didn't know them. I don't really know the players. So
it's literally it's Daily Blind. Daily Blind.
Yeah, Daily. That's the only one I knew. Daily Blind.
That's all you need, man. That's all you need.
Unreal.
Yeah.
Unreal.
We've got a kid, Savio. I think a Brazilian kid, and he's young, Savio or something, but he looks a real problem. I think he's only on loan, but I think he's
Oh yeah,
He's going to be a problem going forward. Yeah.
How many,
yeah.
Jake? You're saying earlier, how many people in the town?
I think I heard Lineker say something about it. It's like there's only like 100,000 people or something in the town, which is
I think
insane.
I heard Lineker say that the most famous thing from the town was a restaurant, not the football team.
Oh
It's
yeah,
pretty funny. It's pretty funny.
Nice.
that is mad, isn't
I
it?
didn't even realize what was happening, to be honest, because I don't follow Liga too much. But I just saw like a gun. I think it was a Gundogan interview, where he basically was talking about, and he was like, "Yeah, we can't let Girona and Real Madrid run away with it." I was like, Who? Like,
Yeah.
what? And I don't know if you saw that interview. It was quite interesting, actually, because he basically just called out the entire Barca squad and was just saying, like, no one's sad when we lose. It's just like he was basically just like the mentality is shit in the dressing room, which was like big big
Well,
talk.
Yeah,
it's
But
coming
I
from
like
think it's the
City, innit?
second time he said something against his own team this season, which it
yeah,
says a
yeah,
lot because he come from City. Yeah, like you said, you come from
Yeah.
City with the winning mentality through and through.
yeah.
Just won the treble, and then you go to Barcelona, and it's a bit of a project right
Did you
now.
boys think that was a strange move? Do you think it was time for him to go?
I think he could have stayed for sure. He's an incredible player, and he's been amazing for Pep. Amazing for Pep. But
Mm.
he might want a bit of life in the sun in Barcelona rather than
Easier life, and
Manchester.
yeah, simple. It's less physical. Every
He
game,
just
the
won the
whole
treble.
more
Just won the treble.
possession.
Like, why not? Why not try Barcelona? I don't think it's a weird move at all.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
mean, I guess for
Like,
me, it's between you got to really pick. I guess between Bernardo Silva and him, and I'm picking Bernardo Silva any day. Like Bernardo is an unreal player, and he would probably be my first pick of any player in the Premier League if I was building a team. I
wow,
genuinely think he's
that's
just
cold.
like so
He's a little
versatile,
magician.
and
He's a little
yeah, he's
magician.
so
He's a little
underrated.
magician.
Like I
Well,
just
he were also going to go
he's
to
incredible.
Barca.
Yeah,
Remember
Every
yeah. I know
season,
there were
last
rumors
year?
every
that he
season he almost goes to Barca or somewhere.
But I think last year, like he would, because Pep didn't play him. There was some point where maybe 2 years ago, he was like really sporadic. One, he'd be in there and out. This season, I think, especially with De Bruyne had been injured, like he's just shining, man.
yeah.
Yeah,
He's
he,
class,
he's shining in that team. But what do you
But
think?
you play him anywhere.
Yeah, that's the.
and
It's not a
he
problem.
takes it.
That's just that's
He's like a Portuguese James Milner.
put him left back.
Yeah, that's exactly what he's like. Yeah,
He just
Portuguese
ain't got the
Gareth Barry.
touch. He ain't got the Jimmy
So,
Milner touch.
so what do you say? What do you think? Bernardo Silva or David Silva, the better player? It's a question, and I lean Bernardo Silva, but maybe
Yeah,
because
me too. I
it's
think.
current. Maybe because it's current. Because David Silva
Maybe
was
because
the
in it, David Silva, they're so similar, aren't they? When you think that
yeah.
left peg, like small number 10, but I think Bernardo Silva's more versatile. Like you say, you play him out wing. He plays
Yeah.
sometimes further back. He's even played him at left back sometimes. And like
Yeah,
Silva couldn't
he'd
do,
do
Silva
a
couldn't
job
do
at
that.
fullback.
Silva couldn't do that. He could not do that.
He did that 10 roll perfect, but he couldn't do that.
I think Pep's in love with him. To be honest, it's a dream for him. Like you can
Any
play him
manager,
anywhere, and any manager, but especially Pep when he asks for such demanding roles and like versatile. It's a dream for Pep.
Yeah, for sure, man. I guess something else to talk about. Obviously, with all the betting stuff, players gambling, should it be allowed or not? Obviously, Tonali's has been banned for 10 months. I think a couple of other players have been maybe going to get brought down with it as well. Tony obviously got the worst of it. Obviously missed out for England, a crucial point. Should it be allowed? In your personal opinion, is it as clear as black and white? Or?
The thing with Tony, I think, is the reason he got such a big ban was because he kind of lied about it in the process of them like doing the discovery, and so I think that really influenced how long he got and how harsh they were with it. Whereas, like, I think Tonali kind of cooperated with the investigation and stuff. But yeah, I don't know. It's kind of a weird one because, like, the thing in the US is like even in college, like college players and so NCAA, like they are basically banned from doing any sort of betting at all. Like I remember being in college and I was at a D3 school. There's nothing on the line basically, and we had to play like poker behind closed doors because if any of them got caught found playing poker, like it would be like they would be struck off, not allowed to play again in like any of this or compete in any of their sports. And so I do see some validity because you do have that kind of insider knowledge, but I don't know, where is the line, you know, like I
For,
is it really that bad to bet on yourself to score?
that's the
you
thing.
know?
Tony was
Tony was
what he
betting on
doing,
himself.
wasn't
Yeah.
Yeah.
it? So like you
I thi-
just kind of backing. If you're betting on yourself not to score, then it's a problem. Then
I think
it's a problem.
Yeah.
what was funny, I heard that he bet on the team to lose when he wasn't in the team. I thought it was quite funny.
He bet on his own.
Well,
He's
that's
like,
when you
you're shit
that-
without me.
That line is a bit blurry. That one, I don't know if that was right. Or I need to check that. But
Were
that's
it
what I
Peterborough? Is that where they were at?
Yeah, yeah.
Peterborough?
think Peterborough. Yeah.
I mean,
But
yeah.
He doesn't like Brentford, does he? So he were on a boat or
No.
something with some
Yeah.
girl got him on Snap and was like, "Oh, can you just say Brentford shit?" And he did it. I'm like, you're not really ingratiating
It's,
yourself to the fans, are you?
No,
That's good.
he's a class player though. Baller.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
He's
that's
unreal.
with the obviously we got the international break in next week, I think. Probably the last of it. Thank God for that. Is he good enough?
such
You know
a
what I mean?
downer.
Is anyone ever going to move Kane out of that nine spot? I think England have got so many good attacking players and even good strikers. You see at Wilson at Newcastle, like, but
Watkins.
no one gets a shout, do they?
What they need to be doing is, in case Kane gets injured, someone needs to fill that role because it can happen. I felt that as a Tottenham fan. You know, when he gets injured, it's a big blow. For England, that's a huge blow.
Yeah.
So if you have like Wilson and Watkins are flying right now, and then Tony's, I would say, is probably better than those two as a striker. So that's not bad options to have. But we need
pieces as well. You know what I mean? He can take a free kick, which a lot of times we don't have.
The pens are incredible. He doesn't miss.
Massive.
But talking about gambling, I think the football as a whole needs to address it before they sanction the players as much. There's so much betting advertisement anywhere, so I think it's a bit hypocritical to put huge
shirts and everything. Yeah,
all the shirts on the side, whatever on in the stadium. They need to address that before they say anything about. I mean, you shouldn't be. I don't think you should be betting on your team. I think that's a bit silly.
Yeah, anything you can have an impact on, or insider knowledge.
Yeah.
I think everyone, to some extent, should be allowed. If they want to gamble the money, they should be allowed to. It's just if they have that extra sort of insider knowledge.
Yeah.
Which is tough. It's tough to sort of negate, and it like. If you've got a friend in League 2 in Spain who plays for this club and he's like, our best player, you know what I mean? He's got insider knowledge, but how do you control that?
I think in 10 years, we're going to look back and it's going to be like smoking advertisements, Marlboro on F1. It's not going to be allowed because it's an addiction, and addictions are, it's mental.
Yeah.
And
I think you're going to end up with literally everyone involved with the club being banned. Like you're probably going to have a similar, look, when I was working in finance, like I wasn't even close to working with anything very insider trading information or anything, but just by the fact of being employed there, I was completely restricted from buying stocks in like anything, and I think essentially like you are going to probably see a similar thing with betting where it's just going to be, if you're employed at the club in any kind of sporting sense, you're going to be banned, and maybe even the betting companies themselves should enforce it. Because honestly, like someone who probably has the most insight is like the sports physio at the club. They probably shouldn't be betting on stuff. They probably got more knowledge.
I'd be telling my mates. I'd be like, he's got a little knock. I'm like, you know what I mean? They say the whole club must be kind of.
I think a big one is the. Do you hear earlier in the season the Burnley players? captaining Haaland when he's playing Burnley
In fantasy.
in fantasy. Yeah,
I mean, that's different, isn't it?
That's a weird. It's different, but that's
It's-
still a bit strange.
I
mean,
I
it's
always find
almost
it
like-
weird. Yeah. Sorry, go on.
I mean, it's not illegal, but I find that funny. I find that funny.
It's also like the Dortmund captain asked for Haaland's shirt at half-time at the
Yeah, I
game
saw that
yesterday.
half time.
And I just think that is
Half-time.
outrageous. If I was a Dortmund fan, I would be fuming. I would want him dropped for like, that's just so like weird.
Who's the
It's
captain?
too friendly. Oof.
It's not
That's a
Royce
question.
wasn't playing, was he?
No, he
It
came on,
was-
didn't he?
Came on, yeah.
Where?
I think it was a goalie, Coble.
Oh, yeah. Halftime is a no-go for me. You got to finish the game, and then you can.
Wait,
Do
when
your
was this?
pleasantries.
Wait, no, it wasn't Dortmund.
It
Sorry,
can't be
it wasn't
Dortmund
Dortmund.
because Dortmund
No,
are in
'cause that's-
Newcastle's group.
Yeah. Oh, Young Boys. Sorry, the Young Boys captain. And they're
See,
just about
that's
to
a little
say-
different, isn't it?
That's a little
Dort-
bit.
Dortmund, who we used to play for, there's still a big European club. Young boys,
Mohammed Al
You know.
Kamara. Mohammed Ali Kamara.
I give him a bit more slack. I think.
yeah.
No,
yeah,
but
give
come on,
it-
like I would be fuming. Like if I'm a young,
I wouldn't do it
I'd be
myself
like-
if I was. I think when you're on the pitch, you got to be in that winning mindset. So you can't switch off until the end of the game.
Yeah,
Yeah,
If I was a
Would you?
manager, I would say no more of that until
Yeah.
the end of the game.
yeah.
Yeah.
The manager was mad about it. He said he was going to have words with him. So I mean, at least
Well, there you go.
that. But yeah,
What if that were Messi though? Would we all be saying, oh, it's all right? Does it matter? I think a lot more people would be saying, oh, yeah, it's all right. If you know, in MLS, if we saw someone asking for Messi shirt at half time, you probably won't bat as much of an eyelid.
I disagree. I think it's anyone. It's just the sporting merit of
Ireland's
the
not
game.
that far
like-
off. I mean, right now. So I agree with
It'd be
you.
like
It's
it'd
anyone.
be like UFC
Yeah.
fighters having a kiss, like after round 3 of a
But
5-rounder.
Yeah, it's like when they're going on like it's like round 3 and they're like give each other a hug, and I'm like, come on, boys.
Yeah, I'm like,
You know,
nah,
hug
you're
after.
not done yet, lads. Come
Yeah,
on,
yeah,
you've got 2
yeah.
rounds. Fuck each other up. Come on.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, let's see what else we've got on the board. We also have Saudi Arabia, just been announced they're hosting the World Cup, sticking with obviously the international theme. You boys have a preference on it? I don't watch a lot of it. I don't think I ever will. Maybe if it comes on sort of like mainstream TV. Do you boys have a preference? Do you think it's a bit sad that all these young players with potential are going out there?
I didn't mind it. I didn't. Yeah, sorry, go
Sorry, go on.
Jake.
No, I personally, you know what I mean? I get the Ronaldos, and if you've had a career and you're at the end of your career, go make that money. But a lot of these players are already making good enough money to survive and look after families to then, you sort of throw your legacy away, don't you? Some of them are maybe coming back, but in my views, it's like...
I agree with you. Like the older players kind of edging towards retirement. I don't have a thing against like Henderson going there or Ronaldo.
No.
Earning a little bit more money at the end. If you're talking legacy, it definitely ruins it, I think, because you want to be playing at the top. But if they get that Champions League spot, that is a bit of a game changer, and you're going to see a lot of people going there because it's a valid way of getting the highest level. And also getting paid.
You get paid more than you get paid anywhere else, but then also you can play in the sort of the biggest competition in the world. It's a win-win, isn't it, man?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I would.
Whether
I do
they'll get it,
worry
I
a
don't
little.
know.
I worry a little bit of it becoming kind of like the thing I'm seeing at United right now is we're having these rumors that Varane and Casemiro are going to leave to go there, and for me, I don't know if you saw the game, the 4-3 against Copenhagen, but Johnny Evans got injured around the 10th, 15th minute, and Varane came on and doesn't look bothered. He doesn't look like he wants to be there. He doesn't look like he cares. And he looks like his head's in Saudi Arabia already, if I'm honest. I wouldn't even be surprised if it's done in January. And it's just a weird, like, option to be able to just like say, well, I'll give up I'm gonna go get loads of money. But then on kind of the same kind of wavelength, I feel like we had these kind of fears when the China League started up a few years ago. When the Fellaini, I mean, it's not the same level, is it? The Fellaini's and the was it Polina who went over there, or
I think they capped it, didn't they? Did China put on?
Yeah, they have a
Hulk,
similar thing
Lavezzi.
with the MLS.
All the,
so I mean,
it was.
it is weird when like players in their prime go. I think it's strange because it's like, I don't get that at all.
Look at Neves for Wolves. He's on about going from Wolves to Barcelona, and then out of nowhere he just goes and plays. And he's 23. And I get it. I like you saying about China. You had Oscar a few years ago. Openly, he were one of the only ones that openly came out and said, I'm basically doing it. Finances, like I can set my family up for years. Obviously, these Brazilians and that, they come from a lot tougher places.
And that's the thing with Koulibaly. I don't know if you saw that as well. He said, I'm gonna build a hospital in my like where I'm from. And I think it's a bit hypocritical to judge these players for wanting 5 times as much money. If someone offered you a job in probably an easier role for 5 times as much money, how many people will go?
Yeah,
sure.
I know they're earning a lot as it is. I know they're earning a lot as it is, but it's like, different. It's different. You set up your for generations. It's a really. For sure. I don't think many people can. You don't know what you can't really talk about it if you're not in that position. And
but then
position's a tough one.
Switching it up, Neymar, Barcelona, PSG were meant to be the next one to take over Messi and Ronaldo. And he didn't need the money. He won more than anyone at PSG. Or why is he gone? He's in his prime. Is it 30? Is it because of that? Because it's an easier league to play in, so then he can focus on Brazil, maybe? Because he seems to be injured. Afford him.
I don't think anyone's.
Oh yeah.
He's always injured. On his sister's birthday and whatever. Like I don't.
He wants to play Counter-Strike. That's why he's a professional Counter-Strike player now. He's on it.
Is he really?
He plays Counter-Strike. Like it's the same as Jadon Sancho. They just want to play video games and get paid. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it, but I think the conversation switches if they do get Champions League. Obviously, that's kind of pipe dream.
That's scary. That's scary.
If they get Champions League, then we're having a completely different conversation because then the Saudi League becomes relevant internationally.
I don't understand how they do, but again, it's what I mean. It's money in it. All UEFA and FIFA. Like if Saudis are offering enough money, there might be a door open. I don't understand how logistically it works.
Do you have the MLS?
No, we're getting stupid, man. That's what I'm saying. Like it can't really. How can it open up even more? I'm like that. That should not be allowed. If that is allowed, then it shows obviously, again that corruption from the higher ups, doesn't it?
It's going to be there for a while. It's been there for decades already. So,
did anyone watch the documentary, the Face documentary with Blatter and everyone? God,
that was fun. That was good.
I wish it. I refused to watch it for a while, man. And obviously we're talking a while back now for people that are listening that haven't seen it, but that just epitomizes football, doesn't it? You know what I mean? It's all brilliant. I've got it from the betting side. There's plenty of games you see even now. I'm like, that doesn't happen, or that is even just small things. You ever watch a game and be like, that's mafia, or that's rigged, and you can say that because you've got a preference towards the team, but also the little stuff sometimes just don't. It changes the game.
Are these prem games you're watching that's rigged, or is it like
Anthony Taylor, any Anthony Taylor game, man?
He's loaded.
Pretty much. Yeah,
it's rigged. Yeah. What we think about England anyway? I guess we've spoke a lot about international stuff. So England World Cups in a couple of years. We've got the Euros obviously as well.
I think we got Southgate, a real good chance with.
Is Southgate. He going to take us there?
No,
he'll take us there.
No, Sterling, no.
He'll fly us
Sterling.
There. Finally, took him about 6 years. He's been. He's going to play him though. It's going to be. We're still going to see Sterling and Mount, even though they're both shy.
Phillips and CM. Maguire.
We have a great. I think regardless, we have a great chance with Elliott. He's just a different gravy.
I think
He's
he's
so
the
good.
first one we've had at that level probably since like Gascoigne or something. Like I don't think England has had that. We've had
I
big
don't think
players.
there's
Don't get me wrong.
anyone
We've had
comparable. I don't
Rooney.
think
We've
there's
had
anyone
Beckham's.
comparable.
I don't think anyone's reached for 20 years old has had like the level that he's reached right now.
20-year-old
Unbelievable.
20-year-old at Real Madrid, and he's the leader of that team now. It's incredible. It really is. And
they won't be second without him. Yeah, they won't be second at all without him.
And it's not just like this season. From Birmingham, when he left to Dortmund, they retired his number. When
everyone was laughing, everyone was laughing.
Everyone was laughing, and they were like, "We know." And then Dortmund, he was playing as captain for like some games in his last season. They knew as well, and now he's at Real Madrid and absolutely killing it.
He's a perfect box to box player. Like he's just, and I think as well we are set up to. The problem is for me, I think we really need to play like a 4-3-3, and we need like Rice, him, and then I don't know, like somebody at 10, like maybe a Foden or somebody. I think
he's best. I think Bellingham's best at 10.
I think you've got to play Bellingham 10. I think you've got to
play him 10.
You
got Maddison as well. But Bellingham.
I mean, my point though is that we should be playing 2 attacking, or one attacking midfielder and then somebody who's at least doing a bit of both. Like, but that's the problem. Southgate just plays like 2 CDMs, like sit back, like try not to lose football. And I think we need somebody like Bellingham just needs to be unleashed to do whatever he wants. And I think,
but is that player not Rice? Rice, who goes?
Yeah,
along with
Rice is the CDM for me. But then we need another player who's a bit more offensive. Yeah,
well,
like
it's the
medium.
Form, isn't it? He talks about playing players on form, and you've got
Foden. I reckon Foden can do that job probably. He's not like a big presence, but he's a very, very skillful player, and now pretty versatile with Pep.
We're stacked.
Yeah.
So if we do like people obviously talk about what a great job Southgate has done. I personally think, as an English fan, you put someone else in the situations, the World Cup where we had the route of Croatia and Colombia. We've played no big team, and you had France in final, and Croatia got dicked. But I'm like, we had really no Germany and Euros. Like we've had nice routes that have kind of been handed to us.
He's the English Solskjaer, man. He's vibes football. That's all it is. He's just on buddy mates with all the players. Bare minimum tactics. Just go out there, play your.
What I will say, he has changed the team dynamic and the feeling about England, which was the main problem. So I think you have to give him some plaudits for that.
Yeah, I can see that.
Watching the formation and the team he plays, it is getting very frustrating now.
There's just too many good players for like. I mean, the other day watching the Newcastle, and Livramento is unreal. He should be somewhere in and around that team, but then it's like, well, where do you put him? Like, you've got Kyle Walker, you've got all these ridiculous players.
For me, he doesn't make it because there's too many players, too many.
Wait, is he English, Livramento?
Yeah. Like, there's just it's ridiculous. Yeah, there's just like so many players.
This is the golden generation. You know, people are talking about golden generation, and like you've got everyone's so they're so established. You got Saka, who's only 20 as well. Bellingham, who's 20. Foden's mid-20s. I'm like, everyone's still got years ahead, but we need to implement it now and put him in the system. If we've got a manager that has his own system that implements it now, then in a couple of years, when everyone hits the peak and the prime, we're a problem. I mean, we should be a problem now, but I never see it as been a serious problem under Southgate, personally.
He's got to pick players in form, though. That's the thing. And he says he does, but he doesn't. Because he picks Sterling, he picks
Maguire.
He picks these... Maguire didn't even play in United team, and he's
Phillips.
Phillips.
I'm a Leeds boy.
Yeah, it's the goalie issue has been a bit of a I don't think Pickford should play. Especially not with Pope. How Pope's been performing.
Can I say something? Pope's not in the squad. I was going to bring this up. Pope has not been in the squad for a while now. He picks Johnston, Pickford, and Ramsdale.
Ramsdale shouldn't even be in the
Ramsdale's
squad
second
either.
choice. Ramsdale's second choice, isn't it? Like, should he leave?
Ramsdale
Should
is second
Ramsdale
choice.
leave? No, that's
Johnston?
second choice for Arsenal as well. I know.
Well, exactly. Yeah, he's not playing. Johnston. I mean, I think he's playing pretty well, but Pope needs to be in there. I don't know why he's
It
not.
makes zero sense to me. It makes zero sense.
Like you say, form-wise, how's that? Yeah, it's frustrating. I mean, we haven't even got to any tournaments or anything yet, and I think, like you say, it's a good change up for England itself. He's implemented a lot of stuff that we can take forward. Now, the England players look forward to playing for England. Before, you had like you see on the Sven, you had the United, Chelsea, Arsenal, they all sat separate tables. They all hated each other because the rivalry was stacked. Now everyone's got like a camaraderie. You can see, you've seen videos and they're all joking, and he's brought that back, hasn't he? And maybe he's a great man manager. I think tactically though, we just need to be a little more adventurous with the players we have. Attacking wise, we have some of the best players in the world, if not the best team on paper, and we just don't utilize it, man. Even he never gives players a go, which, sorry, I don't mean to go on, but he never gives players in these tournaments or whatever, when we've got nothing to play for. This is the time to mix it up. Yeah. Stop playing the same team, and then you maybe give, you know what I mean? He gives Maddison 10 minutes, and it's like, well, why aren't you doing it? I'm like, you've got to give these players a chance to get in. We've got nothing to play for. Give them a go, because then when you do rely on them, like he sat Grealish on the bench in the Euros. Then when you do need something different, they've been playing.
Yeah, and like again with Kane, it's like, do we need to play him every single friendly? Because if we play a different, we could play two up top. We could try that. We could try different formations, and it doesn't feel like it's like he goes into every game trying to win every friendly. It's like, okay, it's not really benefiting anyone.
He's played Watkins. He's played Watkins, I think,
a bit, yeah,
in the recent months. Yeah,
to be fair, recently he has.
But Kane needs to start. Keto, come on, don't kid yourself.
I mean, I do think he should.
There's hot takes, and then there's that.
Yeah. Come on, that's outrageous.
I do think he should start, but I'm not that far off.
Would you play instead?
It wouldn't take much for me to start talking about, like, it's annoying because Tony's been banned, but I don't know. Like,
I think you need to have a look in the mirror. If you played for Man United, mate, you would love him. You'd have his shirt.
See, I didn't want him at United at all.
You want Sancho?
You want Sancho? I actually think he's in line, like, for the performance this season. I think he's in line for Ballon d'Or worthy conversation.
Yeah, he probably is. Look, I'm being very harsh. To be honest, like, the reason I didn't want him is because it's another like Van Persie-esque Casemiro signing, where we're signing someone like who's at the end of their career when we need to be signing youngsters. I'm not like saying
he's 30. I think he's 30.
Yeah, but
he's got a long way.
Rebuild, like as a squad, we need to be buying younger players and doing like we need a full clear out and a rebuild. And so I didn't think that buying an older player like that was. It's just another band-aid.
That were also when you had the option of. When you had that option of, people were talking Osimhen or Harry Kane, and you're like, well, I'll take Osimhen because he's 20 years old, but like, you got neither.
Yeah.
I'm like, if you don't get Osimhen, then take Kane.
I genuinely think Højlund's going to be, in my opinion, Højlund is the best player in our team right now. Like, and he's going to be a problem. I really like him.
He's big, strong, pacey. He looks really good.
Yeah.
He does look
good.
But in like 3 years, I think he's going to take a while to be that top player. Like kind of like Nunez.
I disagree. No, I disagree.
You disagree?
Like the thing is, right now the team is so poor, and we have so little service to him that when the second he gets a bit of service, he looks great. But you've essentially got this situation where you've got two wingers in Rashford and Anthony who they're not like whip a ball in wingers. They're not Perisic's. They're not wired like that. And so you've got this really mishmash up front situation where that's why Ten Hag's been criticised for it, but that's why he keeps putting Bruno out on the right, because he's the only person who puts balls in. And it's I think the team will get better, but there needs to be a bit more of there needs to be some moving around of players, and we need someone a bit better, some better service going to him for sure. But I think as soon as he gets service, he's going to be firing, in my opinion.
If he's that good, why is McTominay top goal scorer?
I mean, that says everything about the team, though. That he's top goal scorer is that we've got nothing happening. And also, McTominay was a striker growing up. It were only Mourinho who moved him into midfield.
This year he's been unreal. Like
Scotland, he always turns up, man. Always turns up for Scotland.
Oh yeah, Warrior.
It's nice to see actually, because he's in that fringe a lot of the time. But I do think he's a good player. He's got a lot of heart.
Yeah, I mean, he always give. Yeah, I think that's why managers turn to him when things are going badly, because he gives it effort. And a lot of the players, we've got a lot of lazy fucks basically who do not give any effort, do not want to be there, and do not care. Got Sancho playing Xbox till 3 a.m. Can't say sorry just to be in the squad easy right now. And yeah, it's
not hard, is it?
It's the whole team's a mess. So I don't really blame. HAALAND is the last person I'm going to blame. Like, he is far from the problem. There are millions of problems, and he is definitely the one thing I'm excited about at the moment, if I'm honest.
So who have you boys got for the Champions League then? Obviously, you got Kane going to Bayern Munich, who looks to make a problem. Is this going to be another thing where they're going to be, again, the team that they were a few years ago, with the Robin and the Ribery? Are they going to be at that stature again for the next couple of years with Kane, do you think? Are they going to be the ones to also beat as well as City?
I think they'll be the ones to beat.
I think Madrid are going to be there too, surely, with Bellingham.
Yeah. But Madrid have Bellingham and Bayern have Musiala. I think he's a class player.
The fact we could have had Musiala and Bellingham for England. Oh. Obviously, he's German. Southgate still want to play them, but yeah.
Mad. But I think Bayern are up there, man. Like their squad is so good. And did you see the 8-0? So 8-0.
Yeah, I see it. So me and this other boy on Twitter that we did a collab, which we do every now and again, and we had Bayern to score in the first half. That was the only leg we needed out of all the others. There were two goals disallowed because of VAR. There was 3 red cards. Darmstadt got 2 red cards. Who also Darmstadt are like a team that's come up that are just so attacking. They don't care. They'll just attack. And they're like, kind of like Leeds when we came up. They're like, don't care how many they concede. They're just 0-0 at half time. And then 8 goals in the second half.
8 goals. Kane's hat trick. Kane's hat trick in the half, not even halfway line. Good amount in his half. The thing that's crazy, the ball didn't hit the ground first. It hit the back of the net before it hit the ground. It's just ridiculous. He's an unreal player.
Someone was saying someone must have told him, or they kind of spotted that the keeper kept coming off his line. You don't just, it's like Beckham, innit? You don't just attempt that. You've got to pick up on some things, or someone you've been watching it for a while, or is it something you just like, you know what, we're 6-0 up, let me give this a bosh?
I mean, I reckon he knew that the keeper stayed high. But you need to be in that position, and you need to have the talent, the quality to do that. Not many players can do that at all. You got Xabi Alonso, Beckham, and then him. They're the ones three that stand out for me. Xabi Alonso was very similar in how far back.
The team is just so set for him to just destroy teams.
Like you say, Spurs, he would drop. Spurs in England, he did it the other day actually for Bayern. He dropped in, but Tuchel seems to be putting him in this position where he wants him more to be that out-and-out striker. He's like, everyone will just put the ball at you, you just finish it. Whereas Spurs, a lot of time when they weren't doing well in games or he won't get enough touches, you see him in his own half, pinging balls out.
Yeah, playing false 9, yeah.
So I think
he could ping a ball as well as De Bruyne. I'm sure of that as well. He's so talented. He's not in that position.
But
for Spurs, for Spurs, he had too much to do. That's why he couldn't thrive. But Bayern, he can do whatever he wants. I mean, Tuchel's going to put him. He's going to score masses of goals. Like it's Bundesliga, and he plays with Bayern. They're by far the best team. He's going to.
I think I prefer him.
It's just the Champions League is make or break.
So money wise, who would you have? Who would you have your money on? If you said, all right, Champions League, if they're all sort of even odds, are you going Bayern, City, Madrid? Who would you have your money on? City, tough to look past City, isn't it?
See, but City always bottle it. They've got a bottle in their locker like nobody's business in the Champions League.
This
like,
City's different though. This City's
different.
They don't play.
I
don't know.
They don't put 7 goals into like the more conservative in a way. Like there's something scary in that sense about them. They're not as free flowing and all out attack like the.
I think there's something about Real Madrid again this season. It's just Jude has pushed them to that winning level. He scores in the last minute all the time. They're just
Madrid
winning.
just have that club mentality where it's just, it doesn't matter how many, like they could start like an 11 of kids and you'd still want like favor them to win because they've just got that like turn it around at any moment like club mentality. And I just always don't, I can never write them off.
Yeah, they have the 4 kids in the midfield basically: Tchouaméni, Camavinga, Bellingham, and Valverde. I mean, they're not kids, but they're young, and then they're killing it. Plus, they have Kroos and Modric just chilling, in case they need something extra. It's
right,
and those 4 are learning from the best. They're learning from the best. It's outrageous.
I think for me, I can never write Madrid off, so I think they're probably, for me, second favourites, but I think Bayern have to be, just how they're just demolishing everybody and having to play them in 2 matches' time. I'm not looking forward to that. It's just going to be an absolute rinsing, to be honest.
It doesn't look good for Man United.
No, I think we're out already. I mean, the only possibility is if we the thing is we've never won in Turkey, ever. So our record is horrendous. Galatasaray is going to be an absolute crazy atmosphere, and our mentality is just rock bottom right now.
I mean, they're causing problems. Even Bayern, they had them on ropes it were 0-0 till around 80th minute, wasn't it? They only got 2 late Kane goals, and other one were 3-2. Like Bayern defensively have not been. You watch them.
That's their weakness. I say weakness.
They come up against a City that can score 2 goals and then hold a lot of possession against them. Like they get away with it because they've got plenty of attacking quality, and eventually teams will sit. They'll get a goal and then they'll sit back against them. You come up against the big boys that grab that goal, and Madrid make it dirty and run the clock down. I don't know. Just throwing. I'm
looking at the table. Obviously, Bayern are way through, but Copenhagen with 4 in second place, then Galatasaray in 4 in third, and then Man U in 4th with 3 points. That's going to be tough, really tough to get out of.
So who's the next game?
We have Galatasaray and Bayern left. So we have to beat Galatasaray and then draw against Bayern, basically, which I don't see that happening. I mean, the only situation I could see that even being a possibility is if we get a miracle and Martinez comes back earlier than expected, to be honest, because our defense is just so weak. And I'm sick of this. All right, I'm going on a run. Here we go. I'm sick of this English bias to players like Maguire. He's had half a dozen good games against Sheffield, fucking Copenhagen. He's letting 12 goals or something in the last few games. He's not good, okay? Just because he's got 10 minutes on the ball and then makes a banging pass. It's absolutely insane. And I had to watch the game with Jermaine Genius commentating the other day. And I'm sick of him. He needs to be fired. I'd rather listen to my nan getting shagged than him commentating. I swear to God, horrendous. Okay? All he is doing all game is just bitching about the players who are in an England player's spot. He's like, oh, Sancho should be here. Mount should be in this team. And it's like, Pellistri came on for Anthony. Yeah, Anthony was poor. Pellistri came on and was he was the reason Bruno got that goal, basically, that won us the game against Fulham. And all he's talking about is Mount should be here. Mount should be here. Mount shouldn't even be in the Prem. Mount should be at fucking, I don't even know, Peterborough. He's...
Derby. He can go back to Derby.
He can. he can go to Saudi, seriously, like anywhere. Send him Chicago Fire. Like, he's terrible. Okay, he does nothing. And this English bias is absolutely ridiculous. It's just, oh yeah, like, oh, just these amazing England players, and they're just bang average. They're just bang average, and it's just because you're boys with them, and it's just the commentator thing of being like, oh yeah, nicknames for like while you're commentating, like for all your boys, and it's just pathetic, and it's just.
I'm not a fan of the nicknames while you're playing.
And it's so harsh on like the other players, especially like Garnacho.
He's class.
Garnacho hasn't been so good.
And all everyone says is just like, oh, Rashford would be better. And Rashford's been terrible. He's been in terrible form. And he needs to have some time off and just be given a break. And Garnacho needs a run of games. He's done nothing but deserve to start. And I'm just sick of the like England bias for these bang average players. Sterling is the other one. I'm sick of hearing about Sterling. Man is just Speedy Gonzalez. Like, he's just runs into a brick wall. Like, I just don't understand it at all.
Yeah, we've
I'd like
been
to take it back to Rashford. You think that's a thing that happens to him every year? He needs a break, and then he has a bit of form and confidence, and another break. I don't see him. He's not been consistent for a year yet.
Yeah, and his brother's just got arrested.
Oh yeah,
that's fun.
You do that. You never understand the personal lives of players as well.
No, you don't. But it's happened every year to Rashford. It's just a chronic thing that keeps happening.
I just don't think he has the mentality to be the star player of a team, and I think that's really the problem. Is that he is. He's the highest paid player, pretty much. Him and Sancho, which is outrageous. But anyway, he is expected to be the player who is carrying the team, and he just doesn't have that. And his body language is just terrible. He's just deflated and just walking back quite often, and it's just his mentality just isn't there for me. I think. Everyone says the same thing, really, who watches him. He's absolutely world class on his day. He's Mbappe level world class, but his consistency is nowhere near.
He does pretty well when there's a year left on his contract. I feel like he just comes straight
all
into
United players.
Straight into form. Year left on his contract. Boom.
Yeah.
5+1.
Yeah, give me another money. 400 grand a week, please, and I'll turn it back on. Yeah, no. I mean, I don't know. I think he's probably going through something, or it's hard to even know. Like, I just don't think he's focused, and he's not. We had the whole situation with him going out to the nightclub after the City loss, which everyone were quite light on him for that. But to be honest, like Neville kind of touched on it a little bit, and he was saying like, "Oh well, that would never happen in my day." I'm like. Would it fuck? You think Roy Keane would be happy if you went out to a nightclub after losing to your rivals? He would beat the shit out of you. Like, let's be real. He would absolutely. People used to get shouted at and shamed for leaving bibs out on the training pitch. Like, literally, I think Ruud van Nistelrooy came in and shamed everyone. Was like, who the fuck left this bib out? And there's just no mentality like that.
You think you're missing someone, a leader like that? I don't see a leader in that team, really.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Roy Keane criticising Bruno saying, oh, he shouldn't be captain. Like, who the fuck else are you going to give it to? Like, the only person I could possibly even see is probably Martinez. But he's barely been at the club. He's injured. You
like Martinez, don't you, Tito?
I rate Martinez. I think he's class. He's exactly the type of player I want. I want that passion, and I want.
He gets stuck in, doesn't he? He gets stuck in.
Yeah. He gets stuck in. He's good. He's no Romero, but he's good.
Yeah, all right. Well, you don't get as many red cards, so that's fine.
It's got to be close, doesn't it?
Pure passion.
Yeah. Pure clumsiness, sure. Yeah, passion. We call it that.
Do you not think it's built in, though, like you're saying about the older players? Like, now do we not give young players, I mean, we'll probably have to wrap it up pretty soon, but do we not give young players too much money early on, so they never have that grind, that mentality? They don't clean the first team's boots anymore. They don't.
Yeah.
you know, they have everything they want since like before they've even really made a name for themselves. Because all these clubs are fighting over them because they're scared that they're going to turn into the next Bellingham or the next Messi or whatever, and no team wants to give that to anyone else in the world. So they're locking all these 15-year-olds to give them a load of money, turn 18, you have a good game, they lock them into another contract, and then their mentality, they've got nothing else to really grind for.
I think
they
that's
just
just
need a
how
good
it's gonna
leader
be.
from the top down, like from the not from the captain, not from the manager, but like it needs to come from the top. And
Yeah,
you know, you do like Sir Alex Ferguson. He run the whole thing, so you couldn't get away with anything, and no one's doing that right now in Man United.
Yeah.
I think maybe Man United need Southgate get a bit of the atmosphere back.
Yeah.
Who doesn't need Southgate?
Look, I think we all need Southgate in our lives. I need a girlfriend like Southgate. But I mean, I think that Pep does that. To be honest, at City, I think he's got a very good way.
He's running the show.
Being that kind of person, but kind of coming off as a kind of nice guy as well in front of the press, which makes it kind of like people don't go at him, you know, like from the media. So he's able to kind of be like harsh internally, but he's got this kind of nice guy energy externally that kind of allows him to just be that focal point of like, and he's got the backing too from the club to do whatever he wants, you know.
He's benched De Bruyne before. Cancelo looked like a world beater, and then out of nowhere he was like, "Yeah, you can go." He's you know, he's got that huge. People were saying, I think it was Henri or someone was saying about him. That's what makes him. He's these massive decisions that you can't see from the outside. That he is not afraid. If you outfit in the system or you've got the wrong attitude, he'll get rid of you. That's not United have got too many of them players that don't have the right attitude, or the players are bigger than the manager or the club essentially. Yeah. You know what I mean? Before it used to be like Alex Ferguson, it used to be the manager, whatever he said went. If a player came out against Ferguson, the club had backed Ferguson. Now we're living a day where players are getting backed.
Yeah. And then that's how every manager we've had has been fired. I think something I've had recently, which I'm starting to agree with, is I think probably it started getting really bad when we chose basically Pogba over Mourinho. That's, I think, where a lot of these things started, where we chose to give that player power to him when we really should have just let Mourinho discipline how he needed to discipline. And I think also there's been some really weird decisions in the club of kind of shipping out players who have that mentality, or at least have the kind of the hardcore old school mentality. Like this, I know you're going to make fun of me for it, but like I think weirdest decision this season is loaning Brandon Williams out. Like he, for all his flaws, is a fucking nutter and gives his passion and is all about it. And we're struggling for fullbacks, and we've gone and loaned Reguilon, who's garbage. And we could have an absolute shithouse player in Brandon Williams. He's not allowed to do NOS canisters anymore because they've just been banned in the UK, made a Class C drug. So he's sorted. Like, we'd be flying now. And we're just shipping these kind of players out who actually have the mentality that we want. I don't know. Don't get it, man. I mean, it's an extreme example. Not saying he's a world beater or anything, but, you know, next Roberto Carlos.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, now.
I guess
Man, you'll be flying with Brandon Williams. It's the hottest take done so far.
Brandon
I'll take him over Kane, me. Put him up top.
I mean, speaking of legends, I guess it's one that we got to cover before we wrap it up. Lionel Messi, greatest of all time, Ballon d'Or. Was it deserved? Was it a Ballon d'Or that he's won at the collection, or was this one deserved like some of his others? Or
I think it was a romantic Ballon d'Or, you know, a farewell.
World Cup.
Haaland's been robbed, hasn't he? Really?
a little.
Don't you think?
You know,
it's tough, isn't it?
Yeah, but the first MLS player to win the Ballon d'Or, crazy.
And he didn't even qualify for playoffs. He's on his early retirement.
Unbelievable. No. I think he probably did this. The best player in the world at that time, World Cup, I would say it was probably Messi. He did turn up, and he turned up in the World Cup as well.
He did. And then there were a lot of decisions that favoured him and Argentina. I'm not saying it's rigged, but there's a lot of stuff that helped him along the way.
I think
He's still.
You
I
don't
mean,
think
he
it was,
still had to
Ray?
turn up. You know what I mean? He's still
You
in the
don't think it was all
final. He still had
Martinez?
to.
I mean, yeah, from the bench, to be fair, that emotional support, he were carrying them. But I don't know. I can't believe he's won Ballon d'Or. He was basically retired at PSG. Like, he weren't doing out. It's mental to me. I think it's up. The Ballon d'Or is just a popularity contest. Like, the amount of players who should have won it.
That's how it works. That's how they vote.
Has the World Cup ever been that heavily? Because if you look at Messi, you think PSG, all right, he did all right. He put some decent stats, obviously, in that league. I think a lot of people do overlook. He did put some decent stats. But has the World Cup ever been so heavily influenced on a Ballon d'Or? Like, it feels like he's been given the Ballon d'Or from, winning the one that he never had before.
Yeah, it's because it's the piece that everyone used to say he's not good because he hasn't turned up for Argentina. And so because he did it and won that World Cup, it completes the storyline, and it basically ruins the Ronaldo Messi debate, really. And it's like Messi's greatest of all time. He's won it. Give him the Ballon d'Or, storyline stuff. But yeah, I can't
remember a player in the past.
Haaland should have won it. Like, I'm sorry, you can't be winning the treble like that and scoring that many goals and being that pivotal and losing out to a geezer who's basically living on the beach.
Yeah, true. All right, last one before we wrap it up. I guess we'll talk about the big game this weekend. We spoke about Anthony Taylor. City, Chelsea. You boys, what do we see happening? Any predictions? Any scorelines?
What you're talking about, United Luton. Big game.
Luton 2-0, mate. Luton 2-0.
It's the big bottom of the table rivalry, relegation battle already.
Wow.
6-pointer.
Where is it? Is it at Luton?
No, it's
you boys, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, if we're at Luton, different game, man.
I do like watching. Like, I enjoyed watching a bit of the Luton-Liverpool game. Seeing University of Bedfordshire advertised, it was great. It was great.
Yeah.
You had to slip that one in, man. Slip that one in.
I had to slip that one in.
Yeah. So what are we thinking? Chelsea got a chance?
If I was a Chelsea fan, I'd be terrified right now. They nearly lost to. I'm gonna say nearly, but Tottenham gave it it was close with 9 versus 11.
Tottenham looked the better team.
I mean,
like
against City, they're gonna get destroyed.
Jackson hat trick.
Oh, scored the worst hat trick in the history
3 out of 12.
And then drops a sweet celebration afterwards. Oh my god, it was horrendous.
He also did the Rashford.
Yeah, I know.
But that game, you know what I mean? I personally think Nkunku, he got injured at the start of the season. I think if he comes back, I watched him a lot in Leipzig. Like, I think he solves a lot of problems going forward, creative wise and also finishing wise. I think that's the problem. They create chances, and they've got to gel together. They've got so many new players. I do think when he comes back, once they've all gelled together as well, I think there will be a problem. Poch will get them working together.
There will be a problem. I have faith in Pochettino. Like, he puts a good squad together, and that squad is new and they haven't played with each other. And in the Premier League, that's a really, really big thing. I think give him time, and I think they will come good, and it will be a bit scary because they're stacked as well.
Oh yeah,
I don't know. I disagree. I think they're bang average.
Yeah,
don't rate them at all.
Rather have Evans and Maguire in.
Yeah,
Williams
way better than over Thiago Silva any day. No way, no question.
It's class. All right, boys. So Man City, Chelsea, who's winning?
It'll be City. Quite easily, at least 3-0.
Yeah, I mean, I think it could be a 4.
It could be.
You don't think Chelsea get a goal?
No.
With a little confidence now?
No.
Fair enough,
I don't think they're coming with any confidence after that game, to be honest.
Yeah.
No. They played poor against 9.
It's a win, though,
and
isn't
Tottenham, it's a win. It's a win.
You know what I mean? For someone like that, for a striker to score 3 goals, don't matter how you get him. Sometimes he might start banging him in now. You never know, do you?
I suppose. I don't think it's enough, but I suppose.
So we are going with City. Anyway, boys,
I think
appreciate you being here. It's been good first session. We'll probably have some more going forward. If anyone watching this, if there is anyone, if you want to drop a like, subscribe, comment, share, all the good stuff, we'll hopefully be back again at some point to talk some more football, more predictions, and plenty of shit on top of that with some hot takes again from Keto Barons. Appreciate you all, and we will catch you next time.
Cheers.
Thanks, boys. Thanks for watching.